Welcome to The Deep Dive. We're the show that takes, well, pretty complex topics, cuts through the noise, and hopefully distills them into genuinely useful insights for you. Today, we're diving deep into a challenge that many property owners know all too well. How do you manage short-term rentals effectively? Especially when you're, nowhere near the property itself. We're really talking about transforming what can often feel like a constant juggle, a burden even, into something remarkably streamlined. Profitable too. And to make it really tangible, we're focusing our lens today on the beautiful coastal areas of Kavala, Greece. Think places like Nia Irakliza, Paleosifliki, and Nia Paramos. So our mission for this deep dive is essentially to unpack this powerful 5-step methodology. It's kind of a blueprint, really, designed for maximum efficiency in remote short-term rental management. And we're drawing from a really comprehensive analysis that details not just the practical applications, but highlights real-world results right there in Kavala.
Exactly. And, this isn't just about making things easier anymore. It's becoming crucial. What's really interesting is how vital remote management has become, particularly in these growing markets like Eastern Macedonia. You've got this surging demand for professionally managed places, but guests. They also want a seamless, almost like invisible experience. And owners, well, they're looking to scale up, maybe manage more properties without being chained to the day-to-day stuff. So knowing how to manage remotely, it's not just a nice to have. It's actually about meeting that market demand and, frankly, staying competitive.
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's unpack this. If you're managing from afar, the absolute foundation, the first hurdle, it's got to be communication, right? How do you make sure guests feel connected, informed, looked after when you're not physically there to, greet them or answer every little question?
Yeah, that's spot on. And one of the most impactful strategies we saw, looking at the top properties, is this absolute focus on smart, automated communication systems. And it's more than just sending a couple of emails. What the research consistently shows is that this kind of proactive, automated chat, it really sets a positive tone for the whole trip, right from the start. It's that first impression. And crucially, it dramatically cuts down on those common last-minute questions that used to just devour an owner's time.
All right, the where's the key or how does the Wi-Fi work type things.
Precisely. So take Kavala as an example. We're talking practical stuff like welcome messages popping up 48 hours before arrival. They should have clear directions, maybe from the Kavala port or the airport, and automated check-in instructions need to be super specific. Imagine getting a message like, your apartment, just a 5-minute walk from Kavala's old town, look for the blue door. Simple, clear.
Okay, that makes sense. Less ambiguity.
Exactly. And you can layer in curated local tips, maybe highlight Kavala's thermal springs or the archaeological sites, the best beaches nearby. A really nice touch. Maybe include a quick weather update for Nia Irakliza or some seasonal activity ideas. And naturally, smooth pre-departure messages for checkout procedures. Oh, and a key pro tip we found. Customize messages based on where the guest is coming from. International folks often need slightly different info than domestic travelers.
That's a good point.
And the numbers back it up. The data from leading management experts there in Kavala, it shows properties using these comprehensive automated systems get 23% higher guest satisfaction scores. And get this, they reduce management time by up to 40%.
40%?
Yeah.
Just from automating messages. That's actually incredible. But okay, beyond the digital side, the digital handshake, there's the physical challenge, keys. I mean, how on earth do you handle key handovers across maybe multiple properties, especially if you're not even in the same city, let alone the country? Are we talking lock boxes everywhere or something else?
Well, that's exactly the puzzle, isn't it? And it's where keyless entry solutions for these remote areas just shine. Think about it. Traditional keys, especially scattered across coastal spots. It's a logistical nightmare. Time-consuming, delays happen.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The solution is smart lock technology. It doesn't just ditch the coordination headache, it seriously boosts security for everyone involved.
Okay, so how does that work practically, say, in Kavala?
Right, so for places there, you'd want robust, weather-resistant smart locks. Ones that can handle that coastal air, the salt, the humidity.
Good point.
Then each booking gets its own unique access code. And crucially, it's time-limited. It just stops working after checkout automatically. It's also smart to have a backup entry method, just in case. Maybe a physical key hidden securely or a keypad fails. And you, as the owner, can remotely check the access logs, see who's come and gone and when for security.
And the cost versus benefit, is it worth the investment?
Well, the analysis is pretty compelling. You're looking at an initial outlay, maybe 150, 300 twos per property. And this is the key. It saves, on average, 2 to 3 hours per booking.
Per booking, wow.
Yeah. So if you have a property doing 50 or more bookings a year,
Yeah.
that's easily 100, maybe 150 hours saved annually.
That's huge. I mean, what could an owner do with all that extra time?
Exactly. Strategic planning, marketing, finding new properties, whatever. And this is especially valuable for properties in, say, more rural spots like Poliosafliki, where popping over with a key is even harder. Plus, it really appeals to that growing crowd of, tech-savvy digital nomads choosing places like Eastern Macedonia. They expect this stuff now.
Okay, so keyless entry handles access smoothly. Guests are in. Now, what about ensuring that 5-star cleanliness? That perfect presentation for the next arrival, especially when you can't just, pop over yourself to double-check the cleaning crew's work. How do you guarantee that standard every single time, remotely?
Yes. This is where automated task management and quality control systems become, well, absolutely essential. It's really about creating a precise digital workflow, coordinating everything, cleaning, maintenance checks, restocking supplies.
Oh, okay. So it's more than just sending a text to the cleaner.
Oh, much more. For properties in Kavala, the systems we looked at are quite sophisticated. Think automated cleaning notifications triggered the moment a guest checks out. We've even seen owners using photo verification systems. Cleaners take pictures to show the place is perfect. Provides instant proof, accountability.
Ah, smart. No more guesswork.
Exactly. No more wondering if, sand got tracked all over the living room after a beach day in Nia Erklitsa, or if the cushions are plumped. You could also have automated inventory checks. Do we have enough beach towels? Is the coffee stocked? Maintenance gets scheduled based on guest feedback or sensor data. And smart alerts for restocking things like maybe sunscreen or local maps.
So it adapts to the location, too.
It has to. I mean, think about it. Beach properties, like in Nia Erklitsa, they need extra focus on sand removal, checking outdoor furniture. Whereas a more rural place in Poliosafliki might have different needs, checking the heating in winter, maybe seasonal pest control.
Right, tailored maintenance.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And we saw some compelling results. Planbnb, they manage over 50 properties there.
Okay.
They reported that implementing these systems cut their property prep time by 30%. 30%. And it boosted their average consistency ratings from like 4.2 stars up to 4.7. That's a big jump.
Wow.
So it's not just efficiency, it's genuinely lifting the quality, the consistency of the guest experience.
That makes a lot of sense. Consistency is key in hospitality. Moving beyond the nuts and bolts of cleaning and access, it's often those little touches, that local insight that really makes a stay memorable. How do you, as a remote host, provide that kind of almost personal concierge feel? How do you answer questions before they're even asked without actually being there?
Right. And that brings us neatly to the power of comprehensive digital guest guides. These are becoming so important because they don't just give information, do they? They really transform the whole visitor experience. It moves from just renting a place to really feeling immersed locally.
Okay.
And crucially for the host, good guides can slash direct guest questions by up to 60%.
60%, that's huge. Fewer interruptions.
Exactly. Fewer late-night texts about the Wi-Fi password or where the nearest supermarket is.
Yeah.
So what goes in them? Well, the basics, obviously. Wi-Fi details, how the appliances work, emergency contacts, all that property stuff.
Standard.
But where they really shine is the local stuff. Detailed directions to Kavala's highlights the Imaret, Kamares Aqueduct, the best beaches, maybe some hidden gems for dining. You can add cultural insights, seasonal tips like, hey, it's summer, check out these beaches, or it's winter, the thermal springs are amazing right now. Transport options, essential emergency info hospitals, police, and the really advanced ones. They might have interactive maps, maybe real-time updates for local festivals or events, even weather-based activity suggestions.
That sounds incredibly useful for a guest.
It is. And the key insight here is making them location-specific. A guide for Nia Peramos needs different recommendations than one for Kavala City Center or for, quiet, rural Poliosafliki.
Absolutely. Tailoring is everything.
It personalizes the experience, makes guests feel really looked after, even though you're miles away.
Okay, that cover is enhancing the guest experience. But let's talk about the flip side, maybe the less glamorous side. Protecting your investment. How do you make sure house rules are followed? How do you handle security? All from a distance. It feels like a big leap of faith if you're not physically there. What about parties? Or damage?
That's a perfectly valid concern, and it's where smart monitoring and security systems really come into play. They act as your sort of eyes and ears remotely. The main goal here is ensuring guests stick to the rules and protecting your property, but And this is absolutely critical without invading their privacy.
Right. Privacy is paramount. So what kind of tech are we talking about?
Things like noise level monitoring devices. These are great. They don't record sound, just measure decibel levels. So if it gets too loud, suggesting a party, perhaps you get an alert. You can then reach out politely to the guests.
Okay. Proactive, but not intrusive.
Exactly. Then there are things like occupancy sensors, again, not cameras, just detecting presence. Smart smoke detectors that are better at telling cooking smoke from a real fire. Environmental monitoring is useful too. Temperature, humidity, air quality can flag potential issues like dampness. And importantly, exterior security cameras. Never, ever inside the living spaces. That's a huge no-no.
Got it. Exterior only. And how does this apply specifically in Kavala?
Well, think about those coastal properties again. Monitoring humidity can be really valuable to prevent salt air damage or mold. Rural properties in more isolated spots. Enhanced exterior security just makes sense. Peace of mind. If you have a pool in summer, maybe sensors around the pool area for safety. In winter, monitoring the heating system to prevent pipes freezing if the property is vacant. It's very practical.
And the return on investment. These systems sound like they might be pricey.
There's an upfront cost, sure. Maybe 500 to 800 euro per property for a decent setup. But the ROI analysis we looked at, it suggests these systems typically pay for themselves within the first year.
Really? How?
Through preventing damage, stopping that party before it trashes the place, reducing insurance claims, and just generally improving guest compliance with the rules. It's basically an investment in protecting your asset and ensuring smoother stays.
Okay, that makes financial sense too, not just peace of mind. So we've walked through these 5 key steps: smart communication, keyless entry, automated tasks, digital guides, and smart monitoring. Quite a comprehensive system. Now, for an owner listening to this, maybe someone with a property in Kavala or thinking about it, getting started might feel, well, a bit overwhelming. It sounds like a lot to implement all at once. Is there a strategic way to approach it?
Absolutely. You don't have to boil the ocean overnight. The analysis we drew from actually lays out a clear, phased implementation strategy, kind of tailored for owners there. Phase 1, maybe in your first month, is about getting the foundational tech in place. So install that keyless entry system, set up the basic automated welcome and check-in messages, get the ball rolling.
Okay, start with access and basic comms.
Exactly. Then phase 2, perhaps month 2, you focus on building out those richer elements. Develop your comprehensive digital guest guide, really refine the communication sequences, add more local tips.
Right, enhance the guest experience part.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then phase 3, usually by the 3rd month, that's when you bring in the smart monitoring systems and you start really fine-tuning all the processes you've set up based on early feedback or data, making it all work together seamlessly.
A phased approach. That sounds much more manageable.
It is, and the expected results from doing this methodically are pretty impressive. We're consistently seeing around a 40% reduction in the actual hands-on time owners spend managing.
40% less time?
Yeah. Plus, about a 25% increase in guest satisfaction scores because the experience is just smoother, more informed. Often a 15% improvement in average nightly rates because you can command a bit more for a premium tech-enabled experience. And a really significant one. Roughly a 50% reduction in maintenance issues, thanks to that proactive monitoring catching problems early. Our research highlighted companies like Planbnb, a leading Airbnb manager in Kavala, as really good examples of this in action. They manage dozens of properties, successfully blending that deep local knowledge with the right tech. They offer the whole package, 247 monitoring, dynamic pricing, detailed reports for owners.
So it's proven to work locally.
Definitely. And if you look at the bigger picture, the trends for 2025 in Eastern Macedonia, they all point in this direction. You've got more digital nomads coming. People increasingly expect contactless experiences. Guest expectations for smart home features are rising. There's a bigger focus on local, authentic stays. Sustainability is becoming a factor too.
Right. The market is evolving.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the data shows properties that embrace these remote management systems. They're consistently outperforming the more traditional setups by a significant margin, like 20 to 30% across key metrics. It's becoming a real competitive advantage.
So the message seems pretty clear. If you're a property owner, whether in Kavala or really anywhere with short-term rentals, embracing remote management tech isn't just a fad. It feels like it's genuinely the future for profitable, sustainable hosting. By tackling these 5 steps, the smart communication, the keyless entry, automating tasks, those digital guides, and the intelligent monitoring, you really can create better guest experiences while, drastically cutting down your own time commitment and boosting your returns.
It's that combination, isn't it? Smart tech, yes, but paired with local insights and these systematic systematic processes. That's what creates the powerful edge. It helps you drive consistent bookings, get those great reviews, whether you've got a buzzing beachfront place in Nera Iraklitsa or a quiet, traditional house tucked away in Paleosafliki. It adapts. Which does make you think, doesn't it? It leaves us with a bit of a provocative thought for you, the listener, to maybe mull over. As we lean more and more on this automation, this smart tech, in managing properties, how is the actual role of the owner or the manager going to change in the future? Will it shift them away from all the hands-on day-to-day tasks towards something more strategic, more high-level oversight, allowing them to focus that human connection, their time, where it truly adds the most value? Something to consider.